Let's speak now to Melusi Xulu of Donda Attorneys. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Xulu. Thanks very much for your time. Just what you make of the clip we played there.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Vuyo, and to the viewers at home. I want to be careful on how I'll answer you, but I think the frustration is understood. The trial should go smoothly without any hiccups, so to speak. However, I think the wording of the frustration might be unfortunate because, you know, how you factor the racial part of it might not be proper as a judge, maybe. And it's not the first time that we've heard the judge talking about white advocates or black advocates in that manner. And even Black Lawyers Association at that time, I believe it was last year, they've raised that issue that it's unfortunate that a judge will speak like this, especially if he's a black judge. However, probably he will issue a statement that he's apologizing again, but it looks like it's the thoughts that he always has in his mind. And there is a school of thought that might say maybe it's because he's a inverted commas, an apartheid judge, so to speak. Maybe that's why he's thinking like that. But I'm not saying that's how he's thinking. I'm just saying there's a school of thought that might say that. He even said he doesn't care if you call me an Uncle Tom, but that's his view. So it's unfortunate.
And of course, I mean, in the course of today's proceedings, that came after he had spoke quite at length about decorum in that court and how it has gone out of the window. Because I remember when I first watched, when proceedings started, I was watching without the volume on because I was part of a meeting when I turned that up, and then he was addressing these issues of decorum. Does that suggest, or should we give him the benefit of a doubt? Say someone who holds your view, should they still give him the benefit of a doubt given that context, that it was also after heated conversations about issues of decorum in that court? And this seemed to be just like the you know, the moment that then made him lose his cool altogether.
Yes, Vuyo, I think what is important for legal practitioners, whether you're a prosecutor or you're a defense attorney or an advocate, is to always behave in a manner that's showing that they say we have a noble career, where you know it's expected that we should, you know, have a sense of intelligence in terms of emotional intelligence and so forth. So that is important, how we respect the judge. And it's also expected as well that the judicial officers must also, you know, be respectful to everyone there. But I think maybe that's something that we've seen for some time. It does happen in this particular case, and it's unfortunate. I've raised a view before, that, you know, I think it's important, you know, before they come to the court, if there are issues, they deal with them before, and then at least when they come to court, those things will be dealt with. Things such as scheduling and so forth, because there is someone that might say that might ask that when did the advocate schedule this marathon, and maybe when the dates were set, then this Monday should have not been put in the first place. So yes, there are emotions and you know, the decorum that is expected to be proper. But I think also when it comes to discussing the case before they come to court and how they schedule it is important. So it's unfortunate that, you know, this is a high-profile case. Even if it's not a high-profile case, we expect, you know, common respect towards each other, so that, you know, the important thing here is justice. That's what is important. It's not about the individuals who are part of the case, but it's to get justice and to know what happened to Senzo Meyiwa, so that the families of, or the family of Senzo Meyiwa may at least have peace at the end of the day. But it keeps coming back to this bust up, inverted commas, that we always see.
Within that very context that you've just given, what can be said ultimately about the a lawyer as well, about Mr. Mnisi.
Yes, I think if you heard me when I was answering just now, I was just mentioning that, you know, it's expected from legal practitioners to have a sense of respect to the court and to the colleagues in the court at least. And it's expected that, you know, there's no bust up that will be happening in court. That is why I was saying, you know, before we come to court, it's expected, or it's better that, you know, issues are discussed, so that when you come to court, the solutions have been dealt with. Maybe that's what we need more from generally legal practitioners, to be respectful to the court and to the colleagues, and hopefully they'll be able to deal with this of court, if I would say it like that, so that it doesn't happen again, because it keeps happening, and I expect before this case ends, it will happen again.
I mean, I think there's also something to be said about how legal practitioners, how judges, magistrates, but also lawyers should be prepared for these kinds of situations or instances, especially in the age of live, you know, broadcasts of proceedings, and where a lot is at stake. Because, as you said, I mean, this trial has been going on for a very long time, and people are looking forward to that, you know, it being finalized and justice being served. But of course, moments like these do take away from that, and that's what people are left with, and not with justice, which is what is supposed to be the focus of these proceedings. Is there a case to be made, again, for adequate preparation of judges, of magistrates, of lawyers for situations like these? Because I'm sure this won't be the last one.
Yes, I think we need to prepare for such situations, but I think what should be at the center of everything, Davu, is that if we are in court, the main purpose is about justice for the victims, justice for the accused, and to ensure that as legal practitioners, judges, and magistrates and prosecutors, that is done. And in order to ensure that there's justice, there must be collaboration, and there must be preparation, as you say. You are well prepared for the case, you are well prepared, and you are ready to make sure that, you know, we get to the bottom of the truth of any case. But most importantly is to have a sense of respect towards one another, and to make sure that by being prepared, if there are issues, as you say, most high-profile cases are recorded live. So if there are issues, try and find a way to discuss those issues before court, and to be able to start on time. But before you start, you've dealt with the issue so that you are prepared. Otherwise, you will find yourself saying things which you might believe in, but which you should not say in public. And then instead of focusing on the main issue, we are now focused on the utterances that you might have made. So we need to be aware of that people are watching, and, you know, unfortunately, it will not look well from an optics point of view on how court works if we are not prepared, and if we don't practice with a sense of emotional intelligence.
And that's where we're going to leave it for now. Let me thank you very much, Melusi Xulu, Managing Director at Donda Attorneys.